Good day, everyone. Today we will talk about an important topic for every engineering student and professional: how to write effectively to get an engineering job. Technical knowledge alone is not enough to get hired. Engineers must also know how to present themselves professionally. The two most important tools we will discuss are the resume or CV and the application letter. Think of these documents as your personal marketing tools. Just like a company promotes its products, you need to promote your skills, knowledge, and achievement to potential employer. So when you're looking for a job, there are two key documents you need: a resume or CV and application letter. The resume is usually the first impression employers get about you. It's the document that summarizes your education, skills, and experience. Imagine a recruiter receiving 200 Imagine a recruiter receiving 200 resumes in one day. They might only spend 20 to 30 seconds scanning each one. If your resume look clear and professional, they will continue reading. If not, they may skip it immediately. That's why visual appearance and organization are extremely important. So now we will talk about what's the difference between the circumambulate CV and resume. Many people confuse a CV and resume, but they are slightly different. A CV is usually longer and more detailed. It includes full academic history, research, publication, and achievement. It's often used in academic or research position. A resume, on the other hand, is shorter and focused only on the relevant experience for a specific job. For example, if you apply for a research position at university, you may submit a CV. But if you apply for a construction engineering job in company, you will likely send a resume. Sometime in Jordan, in Europe, they use a CV term to for a resume, or they didn't do a difference between resume and CV. So there's two tools for employment. When applying for a job, the two most common tools are the resume and application letter. The resume explains what you have done, your experience, education, skills. The application letter explains why you are the right person for the job. Many people make a mistake when writing resume. They simply list information like boring checklist. However, a strong resume should also give the employer sense of who you are as a professional. For example, instead of writing work in construction project, you may write assisted in managing a residential construction project valued at $2 million, improving project schedule efficiency by 10%. So a resume is essential summary of your professional identity. It includes your education, your work experience, technical skills, achievement relevant to the job. Think of it as a highlight of your career. For example, if you are a civil engineer graduate, your resume may highlight a structural design project, internship experience, and software skills like AutoCAD, Revit, and teamwork in construction project. So an effective resume must communicate your qualification quickly and clearly. Employer often scan resume in about 20 to 30 seconds. So your resume must be designed so the reader can quickly understand it. Who you are, what skills you have, what experience you bring. For example, clear headings such as education, experience, skills makes it easier for employer to scan your resume. So your resume should never be considered a finished document. It's something you continuously updated as your career grows. For example, after completing a new certification, after finishing a major project, after gaining a new technical skills, even a small achievement can become valuable later. If you don't update your resume regularly, you may forget important experience. So resume design approach, there are two main way to design the resume: chronological approach and functional approach. Each method highlights different aspects of your experience. The choice depends on your career background and goals. So let's start with the chronological approach. So this slide, we will introduce the chronological approach. In this method, your work experience is organized based on a time order, usually starting with the most recent job. Employers like this format because they can easily see your career progress. For example, in 2023, you are site engineer in ABC Construction. And in 2021, you are internship في XYZ engineering firms. So the chronological approach, the strength of design is that it clearly show your work history and responsibility and show your educational history. So employer can see where you work, what project you handled, and what skills you developed. However, one weakness is that your key strength may be spread across different sections, making them harder to immediately gossip. A solution is adding a highlight section for a chronological approach. So now let's move off functional approach. Instead of organize experience by time, this approach organizes information by skills and abilities. For example, project management skills, structure design skills, and software skills. You may note that when you move from experience 0 to more experience, you will move from a chronological format to functional format. So the advantage of the functional format or approach is that it emphasizes your strength. For example, if a company is looking for someone with a project planning experience, they can quickly see that skills in your resume. However, the disadvantage is that the employer may not easily see when or where you gain this experience. So, as we see here, this is diagram show different way resume can be structured. It's compare the chronological format and functional format visually. This reminds us that the resume design is not only about information, but also about how the information is presented. So we talk about highlight section. If we want to get rid of the weakness in the chronological approach, we may add a highlight section. So the highlight section is one of the most powerful part of resume. It summarizes your key qualification and achievement. Think of it as a quick review or overview of your strongest skills. So this section may include a major accomplishment, a key technical skills, and certification, special training. For example, highlights 3-year experience in heat and ventilation system design, professional in AutoCAD and MATLAB, managed a team of 5 students in a senior project. So this is the highlight. Here we can see the real example of resume with a highlight section. Notice how the information is organized to quickly show the candidate qualification and professional strength. So we will move to the objective section. So the objective section describes your career goals. It briefly explains the type of job you are looking for. However, including an objective section is optional. Sometimes it can limit opportunity if it's not specific. If you use it, you should do it in a short and clear way, and usually with 2 or 3 lines. So here's an example of the weak object and improved one. A weak object seeking a challenging job in a dynamic company. But this is not a good objective section. The improved one, a construction engineer seeking a position in a heat ventilation system, design and engineer calculation for residential and commercial buildings. The second example is better because it's specific and clear. So there is also additional resume section. Other section can also strengthen your resume. For example, a professional membership, a list of a professional organization and license you get, and technical skills, and award and publication. These sections highlight your professional credibility. So after that, you will move to professional experience. The professional experience section is one of the most important part of the resume. It should include organization name, job title, responsibility, major achievement, technologies used, and employment date. So in this, there's a different way. Here as an example, there's a different way to present work experience. You can present it using a bullet list, paragraph, combination of both. The goal is clarity and readability. So now we'll discuss educational section. And the education section may include your university name, degrees, major field, and graduated date, and important project or course you take. For recent graduates, this section may appear near to the top of the resume. So also you may include a reference section. And in the reference section, you may write reference available upon request. Or may you list a professor, supervisor, or manager who can recommend you. So now the overall format of the resume is extremely important. Good formatting improve readability and make your resume more professional and easier to scan. So one common layout is hanging head format, where heading appear on the left margin and text is slightly indented. This layout make the section more visible and easier to read. So here's the resume design example, and notice how design choice affect how quickly information can be understood. Another example is demonstrate how all sections come together to form professional documents. And also, your resume may include a multiple page resume, and maybe your CV include a multiple page. So the length of your resume depends on your experience, and student and recent graduate usually have one page resume. More experienced professional may have 2 page or more. However, the rule is to keep it as clear as possible. And when you move from 0 experience to more than 5 and 10 experience, you will move from a chronological format to a functional format. Also, you may include a multiple page header, your name, a page name, and date. This ensures that page stay organized. And here's a sample resume. This slide shows an example of a full engineer resume. It demonstrates how education, experience, skills, and achievement are organized. Now we will move to writing an application cover letter. As we said before, that you need to have a resume and an application letter. And the application letter is the second important document. This letter usually appears on the top of the resume and introduce you to the employer. So we called it a cover letter. A cover letter is a short message explaining the position you are applying for and why you are interested, and that your resume is attached. So here's the cover letter example. It includes the sender address, employer address, greeting, and a message. And a full application letter is more detailed. It's explain your background, skills, and why you are right candidate for this position. So it include 3 paragraphs. First paragraph should include state the purpose of the letter, mention the position you are applying for, and attract the reader attention. And the middle and final paragraph, the middle paragraph describe your qualification and experience, and the final paragraph express your interest in the job and encourage the employee or employer to contact you for interview. So here's an example, for example, of a full application letter. It demonstrates how candidates explain their experience and qualification clearly and professionally.